I think that was Paul Mendens, and Martin indeed was waiting for it, but Riverside feels good about the score, trailing Martin by 2 points. We at the Townie Sports Network want to offer our congratulations to East Providence High School head coach Sandy Gorham. Townie's with a very, very exciting season. It appears at this time that it will not lead to a Super Bowl appearance, but it was a great and exciting season. And Bob, a lot of young players on that Townie team, an exciting sophomore in Max Whiting, and we have some other players that'll be back next year, Sean Andrade, Michael Blair, to mention a few. However, how important will be the loss of some of the senior linemen like Holland and Don McGurn?
You know, the key to any team, and you ask any good running back or any quarterback, that you have to have a solid line, and experience counts on a line. A lot of those guys have been playing together for 5 years, and now you're going to have to interchange and make some changes. It's going to be a key loss, but I'm sure Coach Stringfellow will be up to the challenge of training some new linemen for next year.
Almeida with the boot by Riverside. It gets beyond the Martin player, and the ball is live. Picked up by Carlos Rosa. Nowhere to go. Dragged down by number 40, Paul Mendens. So Martin a bit psyched, Riverside a bit psyched, it would appear, after scoring the touchdown against Martin. And let's see what Brian Amaral and his Wildcats do with under 44 minutes to go in the first half.
I look to Martin can exploit. Looks like can exploit the secondary at Riverside. They're playing. It looks to me like they're playing almost 9 men on the line of scrimmage here. So let's see if Coach Duvall goes to the air a little bit here. 10 guys on.
Amaral back to pass. Under pressure, has a man wide open in the flat. Nobody near him, one man to get around. He's finally dragged out of bounds by Jeremiah Francis, or is that number 39? If it was number 36, it was Francis.
I don't think it was a 39. It looked like a 41-yard gain. It looked like a 41-yard gain. Rocha there with a great catch and run with that, and brought it all the way to the Riverside 39.
Amaral, a very poised quarterback. When I talked to Frank Duval, head coach at Martin, he is extremely impressed with his maturity and his credentials, and hopes that he will help the high school in the future. Showing a lot of patience. Again, back to pass. And again, has a man open. That's Rocha once again, making a cut back in towards the end zone. Still on his feet. The ball is loose. Riverside has recovered it. Number 30, Bobby Almeida. Bobby, that ball was just dragged right out of the arms of the Martin player, Justin Rocha, and Riverside jumping on it.
It looked like Rocha was about to go in the end zone, and all of a sudden, one of the Riverside players just ripped the ball out of his hands. And a big break for Riverside as they get the ball on the 1-yard line. So let's see if Riverside now can move the ball out here and not lose the ball down here tight.
Timeout being called by Martin, and Frank Duval telling Justin Rocha as he came onto the field, don't worry about it, giving him a pat on the helmet. And Fred Ferrara for Riverside has his work cut out for him now, Bob. He's got to try to get Riverside to mount an attack from their own 1-yard line in dangerous ground.
I wouldn't look for anything too fancy here. I would look for some straight dives, maybe a couple quarterback sneaks just to get out of the shadow of their own end zone here. But to get back to Amaral, what a good pass he threw to Rocha, and Rocha broke a couple tackles to get down to where he was. This kid, look for Martin, I think, to exploit the Riverside secondary more. They look like they can pass, and the Martin offensive line holding Riverside defense back and giving Amaral as much time as he wants to throw. He has all time in the world to look for a open man.
Coach Ferrara from time to time will have to play some of his players both ways. People, I think, understand that Martin has over 1,000 students and Riverside has just about 500. So you're talking about a 2-to-1 difference in enrollment. And there are days when, due to injuries, Riverside struggles to put 11 or 12 players on the field for practice. And here we go. 1st and 10 from their own 1. In trouble in his end zone, but getting out enough is Paul Mendence. Let's see where the whistle stops the play, as Mendence had to take the ball in the end zone. Picked up, yeah, looks like a good 5, so that's a good start. When you're at the 1-yard line, you want to inch that ball out of there. The spot is at about the 6-yard line.
Surprising call by Coach Ferrara. A little pitch. He almost was nailed in the end zone for safety. Would have been a key play late in the first half.
Pat Pringle, wide receiver to the near side. Rodericks with an option. Makes a little cut inside on a speed option play. Just about actually getting the ball to the line of scrimmage.
About a yard.
Probably about a yard loss on that play, so let's call it a 3rd and 6.
Well, again, this looks like a Martin timeout here. So again, this should be Martin trying to get the ball back with some time left in the half.
The time is being kept on the field by the officials, so we don't have an official time. It's getting close to the end of the first half. Obviously, Riverside would like to make something happen here, but I'm sure they'll be satisfied with going into the halftime trailing Martin by 2.
Oh, yeah, I think Coach Ferrara, again, I don't look for anything too fancy. I don't look for a pass. I look for maybe just a straight dive, and then I would look for a quick Martin timeout.
Frank Duval doing an excellent job coaching Martin Junior High School, assisted by Dan Lergio. In talking to Frank before this game, Bob, a couple of days ago, he told me he's nervous that he realizes his team on paper and on the field is a better team. They're bigger, they have a better record, but he's very leery of this game, and he said, we're coming out playing these guys from Riverside like they're the best team we've faced.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can't stress too much of what a rivalry it is, and the kids from Riverside and the kids from Martin, they really get up for this game. This is like their Super Bowl. They look forward to playing at Pierce Field for the last game, and if one of them makes it to the playoffs, well, that's great too. But this is their Super Bowl, and they want to play tough. And there's usually a few coaches around, especially the high school coaches, checking to see who's out there for next year.
Assistant Athletic Director Phil Ritchie has things under control here at the field today. I believe I may have seen Ken Reel earlier.
Yeah, he just popped in.
Ken Reel, the AD. Rodericks set to take the snap. 3rd down, the pitch back. That's Anthony Marchetti, the ball carrier, trying to pick up the number far across the field. Looks like a slight loss on the play, and Martin stopping the clock will call a timeout. 4th down play for Riverside. And a big play probably as we near the end of the first half, Robert. Number 1, Riverside will probably try to punt the ball out of here, get a little bit of breathing room, but the punter would probably have to be in the end of the end zone almost.
Well, I look for Martin to come on a punt block here to try to make something happen. So anything can happen on a punt block. You may get a rough in the kicker call, and Riverside could maybe possibly get out of here with a 1st down. But it doesn't look like it looks like they're going to come. They'll try to come after this one. So snap is very important here.
I'll take this opportunity to thank our cameraman today and the producer director of this program, Bob Dreher. You know Bob from EPCAT, East Providence Community Access Television, and Bob, a football coach in his own right, doing a great job helping us out here in a pinch today and operating the camera high atop Pierce Stadium. Probably the best facility for high school football in all of Rhode Island and probably beyond that. And we're ready for the big 4th down and 7 play by the Vikings. Let's see what the call is. Paul Mendence is back to kick. Rodericks still in the backfield. Possibility of a fake. Mendence gets a nice snap and gets away a good punt. Getting the ball across the 35-yard line, where it is picked up by Andre Nembran, number 40, and brought down by Matt Osmansky of Riverside. That's about as good as Riverside can expect, Bob.
Oh, that was a great play, and now it forces Martin to go 30 yards here. I would say you're looking at about probably less than a minute to go here, so look for a couple quick plays. I believe Martin is out of timeouts.
And as you point out, watch out in the secondary, as Riverside will have to cover these pass receivers. Right now, Amaril's surveying.
What's this guy at?
Quick pitch.
33.
Breaking one tackle. That's Tony Robertson.
First down,
looks like a Martin first down. Run out of bounds by Riverside, but not before picking up the Wildcat first down.
Robertson just looked to use his athletic ability, try to beat the Riverside defender, who looked to be a little smaller than him, on a one-on-one move. Good call by Coach Duvall.
And again, our apologies, as we don't normally cover junior high sports, and we do not know all of these players on the field, but we'll try to pick up the numbers and names as much as possible. On the first down, Amarillo back to pass, under pressure, almost caught, breaking away. Amarillo doing a good job running away, throwing the ball incomplete, but Brian Amarillo avoiding the long sack. Brought down by, or at least Danny Hassel was in the area chasing Brian Amarillo, so Hassel putting on the good pass rush of Brian Amarillo. Second and 10. Ball at the Riverside 20, or 21. Looks like passing formation. Andre Nembran. Brought down by number 55, Anthony Marchetti, for the Vikings.
Again, just like a quick screen out here, and smart that one of the Martin players just laid off a block, which would have been a clip.
Yeah, I was almost going to say nice block, and the player wisely stayed off. Amarillo with the pass. Robertson getting down close to the 11-yard line, getting out of bounds, stopping the clock. And Martin will have a 4th and 1. Martin trying to punch in another score before the half, and Riverside hoping that the opposite happens. And they'll take an 8-6 score into the halftime any day against these heavily favored Wildcats.
Watching the 40,
Looks like Riverside has stopped Martin on 4th down, and a great defensive play. They will take over the ball if that isn't the end of the half. So Bob, Riverside taking over, stopping Martin on a big 4th down play.
Yeah, strange call to me with less than a minute remaining for them to run a quick dive. Unless that play gets in the end zone, it looks to me like they would have run the clock out themselves. So the clock will start as soon as he puts the ball down. There we go. And I wouldn't say there's much time left at all here.
And I'm not sure, but I think Timmy Wiggins may have made that first hit for Riverside. So the Raiders with maybe a play or two left. Rodericks looking. Takes the snap. Straight ahead is Mendence. And that's going to end the first half. Or let's see, and it does. So the score after one half of play here at Pierce Stadium in this intra-city rivalry between two great schools, Riverside Junior High, the home team today, and Martin Junior High. Score is 8-6, and Bob, if you're Coach Fred Ferrara, you got to say, I'll take that score anytime.
Well, I mean, they're only 2 points behind, and with a little luck and a little more ball management, Riverside could be right here with it. So let's just see if Riverside can stop Martin, and they got a shot to pull it out here. I mean, the potent Martin offense seems to be shut down a little bit. So, hey, anything can happen. Like I said, this is a tight rivalry and a tight contest.
So this is Bob Rodericks along with Bob DeWatt for the Townie Sports Network, and we're going to watch a little bit of the cheerleaders and be back with second half action shortly. Punch you. Pull the plug out. Yeah. And yeah, I'll do it if you want to take a break.
Oh, that's good.
We'll get a chink to run and grab us if you stay. Here we go, second half action. Riverside, Martin. Martin receiving. Carlos Rosa brings the ball back to the 40-yard line. And that's where the Wildcats will start. 1st and 10. And if you're just tuning us in, you're watching the Townie Sports Network. The Martin Riverside annual game. Martin wearing the white, Riverside in the red. Brian Amel set to take the snap for Martin.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody jumped. So the false start on Martin will back them up 5 yards, and it will still be a 1st down, but now 1st and 15 from their own 35. The score is Martin 8, Riverside 6.
Looks like Riverside again is in their 10-man line to try to stop the Martin run. If they break the initial 10 men, look for a big play.
Only Jeremiah Francis deep. As Amel running it, and he's hit initially by number 55, Anthony Marchetti. Helped out in the area by Steve Evans.
Again, this Amel kid looks like a tough kid. Buried his head there and tried to pick up the extra yard.
Everybody up on the line for Riverside, as you can see, the 10-man line. Amel eluding a couple of tacklers and pitches back nicely. Still going is number 44, Bob Fatorma. Finally run out of bounds by Alan Mendoza in the vicinity of the 30-yard line of Riverside. Bob, they almost had Amel in the backfield, and he did a nice job.
Well, it looked like Riverside had their jobs. They had good contained one-head quarterback, but Amel just seemed to elude after the pitch. He eluded 2 guys in the backfield, made a quick pitch, and 44 from out in there, Fatorma was gone.
Second and 10 inside the 25-yard line. Fatorma, the ball carrier, still going. And finally dragged out of bounds by Marchetti, number 55. A good pickup, however, of some maybe 9 yards. So let's call it a 2nd and 1. Officially, we'll make it a 2nd and 2 as they spot the ball. Martin at the 16-yard line. Amel looking for the quick outlet pass. Has Tony Robertson heading towards the end zone, and he is in for the Martin Junior High touchdown.
Yeah, just like a quick shovel pass out to the right to Robertson, and he just went 20 yards for a touchdown. Really nothing fancy about it, just a straight pass, and Robertson with the speed just blasted out down the right-hand side for a touchdown.
Martin 14, Riverside 6. Martin again going for the 2-point conversion. Fumble on the play, covered by Riverside. The conversion will be no good, and the score will stay at 14-6. We are into the 3rd quarter of play here at Pierce Stadium. Martin and Riverside. Great crowd, good contingent of students from both schools. Bob, this is the game where You really don't get a lot of parents to attend because parents are working. It's a difficult time to come to a game. And this is basically a game for the students every year.
Yeah, there looks to be, 200-300 students here at the very minimum, and a good turnout because most of these kids don't drive, would have to walk here after school, especially the Riverside kids to come up here. And you're right, not many parents. 3 o'clock game, and tough for parents to get out and see their kids. Junior high football is tough like that. Not a lot of parents get to see their kids. They have to wait till high school.
Carlson and Francis deep for Riverside. Matt Osmanski covering the ball for Riverside, taking a shot. I missed the number of the Martin player, but Riverside will have pretty decent field position. Ball will be at the 42-yard line. So quarterback Bob Rodericks, number 11, will try to engineer something here as his Vikings are trailing 14-6 to the heavily favored Martin Wildcats. Fumble. Ball is still loose, and Martin has the ball. Unfortunately, Bob, as you can see, as I saw, the Riverside player had an opportunity to fall on it, but he tried to gather it in.
Yeah, so many times you see it, not only here in high school, junior high or high school, but even in college and pros. They try to pick up the ball instead of falling on it and keep possession. And in this case, he tried to pick it up and run with it, but was knocked off it. And the Martin kid ended up recovering it.
How true it is. You try to tell these players, I've seen it in high school games. I've actually seen it, Bob, as you have, I'm sure, all the way through the pros. You try to tell the players, get the ball back, but the temptation to pick it up is there. Is Martin's Mike Lincoln, fullback, looks like he breaks free for a first down.
12 yards on that one.
Good 12-yard run by Lincoln.
You know, it's very tough to tell a kid to fall on the ball when he can, when he thinks he can pick it up and run with it. So it's a tough thing for him to do. But when I used to coach in high school and in junior high, we used to have specific drills where we had the guys, specifically practice falling on a football. It's one of those tough things. But Riverside came out on the short end of the stick that time.
So Amaral right back on the attack for Martin. Marchetti on the stop. Gain of a good 2 yards on the play, make it a second, and let's call it a 2nd and 7 or 8. Good to see staff and people here from East Providence High School, including my partner today, Bob DeWatt, as well as Ken Reel, Phil Ritchie, and others. The fake reverse. That was Bobby Fatorma for Martin.
It's tough to teach a kid, but I see a Riverside kid there diving at the ankles of one of the Martin kids. Only in last resort should you leave your feet to make a tackle, and I've seen it a couple times today. Kids on both sides diving to make a tackle. Tough to make a tackle when you're diving and the guy is able to jump around and move away from you.
Looks like maybe a passing formation here by Amaral and Martin. He is back to pass. And it's complete for the Martin touchdown. Raymond Smith just got well beyond his Riverside defender. Riverside didn't have his chance.
No, it doesn't. The Riverside kid was a good 5 yards in front of the Martin defender. And again, Amaral just lofted the ball up, and number 84 for Smith for Martin was able to haul it in and run the last 5 or 6 yards for a touchdown.
Pass was probably lofted, a good 25 yards or so in the air. As Amaral putting his team up now 20-6. Martin with all the receivers to the far side of the field, and they're going to run it to the opposite side. Amaral on the keeper is in for the 2 points. They set up wide receivers to the far side, and then Amaral on the keeper just swept around toward the near side of the field and punches in another 2 points. So Martin now starting to open this game up, leading 22-6.